We got a big turnout today, man.
What's cracking?
I don't know if I have the space in my Zoom account for all the guests we got here. Me and you. So I have a question. Oh, there's Pushkar.
What's cracking?
Hey, Pushkar. All right, we'll give it a minute here. Pushkar, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You should update your photo. How do you like his photo, Jesse?
His photo, looking pretty stud.
Thanks.
All right. It looks like your dating profile photo.
Yeah, I need to get a few professional pictures get clicked. I don't have one. It's just a selfie, you know.
There we go. There's Jim. Okay, that's who I was waiting for here. All right, we'll give it just another minute here. I guess everybody is out closing deals and making tons of money, and they know what to do. So that's good. All right, today on the coaching call, we are going to do a question and answer segment. And Jim, this is your chance to ask any questions that you might have. It's going to be kind of a one-on-one. I don't know if Yogi might just be listening in. If you have any questions, Yogi, you give us a shout.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Why don't Jim, you start out and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So appreciate it. So I'm really taking the program to heart, and I'm frankly seeing progress. I just see the pipeline building, and I'm approaching customers a little differently. I'm not, taking any shit from anybody. And if they don't want to talk to me, if they, whatever, but I've just managed to get beyond that and build a pipeline. And Steve, you probably know me better than anybody else on the phone. I'm a Midwest guy and a nice guy, but I'm transferring my sports skill set over to the real estate industry, and it's starting to work for me, So congratulations also on the book. If nobody's read it, it is a blueprint for success. And just the other day, as you know, and I know I want to have a question behind this, but I got really frustrated. I was into it for about 30 calls. I was not a happy guy. I texted you. And basically said, take a break, maybe walk around the building or whatever. And I got back, and the next 2 phone calls, I got a listing appointment, right?
Sweet.
And wow. I got someone who's awesome, interested in a home that, and this is leading up to my question is, how do I approach people who say, I want to move to, Lisle, Illinois, which is a suburb in the southwest of Chicago, and I want to spend $550 tops. Can you send me some? Can you send me like an MLS, or let me know what's going on in the market? And, well, of course we can, but how do you like approach that? I mean, we can, and another thing I learned is, don't do it right away. Wait till the afternoon, maybe even the next morning to send it to them, but set their expectations about it. It kind of shows you're busy and all that sort of stuff. But do you send them just, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths in Lisle for $550, or do you go out about it in a different way other than MLS?
Okay, so if I was prospecting and I got somebody on the phone that said that they were looking to buy, I would instantly go into question mode and find out more information about that. So I would say, if you get lost and you don't have a script, you should always have a buyer and seller script or questionnaire handy. That's one of the things you can put on your desk. There's also questions, if you're using Mojo, the Mike Ferry scripts are in there on Mojo. So you can set it up that you can click a button and it'll ask you the script questions. Most of those are to get to the point of them saying, yes, I'm going to sell or buy. But if they say they're going to sell or buy, you then want to ask, if you get lost and you don't have your scripts or your questionnaire in front of you, who, what, when, where, why. So the first question you would say is, great, you're looking to move to Lisle. And what's your motivation for moving to Lisle? Is it because you want to downsize, upsize, blah, 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 blah. They're going to answer the question. So, well, I want to move to Lisle because I want to get a bigger house for my family. Okay, perfect. So you're looking for a bigger house for your family. So do you own a house in Lamont or a townhouse? Yes, we do. Great. Are you going to have to sell that house to be able to buy the next house? So the first thing you want to find out is their ability to actually buy without saying, well, can you afford it? Okay. So you want to know, do they have to sell a house to buy a house, or are they currently renting?
No.
And then going to buy? Why are they moving to Lisle? Where are they moving from? What do they have to do to make that happen? Then you want to say, and you want to ask them, once you find out why they're moving, the next question would be, okay, great. So you're looking in Lisle around 550. So what are you looking for in a house? And the main thing would be, you know, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, do they want a basement? Do they want it finished or unfinished? And what you can do is you could go to an MLS search right now and act like you're setting up a search for a house for somebody in an area. Go through that search, and you want to base your questions off of what questions you're going to have, what information you're going to have to put into that search criteria. So typically, is it, you know, how many bedrooms minimum? How many full bathrooms minimum? Do you want, you know, minimum 2 1/2 bathrooms or minimum 3 full bathrooms? You got to put the minimums in there. So you want to know the minimums of bedrooms, bathrooms, garage spaces, basement, if they want a basement or don't want a basement, finished or unfinished, does that matter? And then you can put the price in there. You know, you don't want to spend over what, $550? Okay, what I typically do is, you know, we're in a market where people may negotiate a little bit more. So your max is $550. Why don't we set the search criteria up at $575? That way you don't miss something that's, you know, possibly able to be negotiated to $550. So you want to ask as many questions as possible. When you get a fish on the hook, you know, you want to be able to make sure that you're working every angle to get that fish up on land. Okay. You want to make sure that you get it into the boat. You don't want to just get a nibble and then whip the pole out of the water. So once you've got a fish on the hook, you want to work it. You want to get all the information you can to best help that client. And then once you get all that information, what you've done is 2 things. A, you found out if they're motivated. You know, B, you found out if they have the ability to buy and if they're buying or selling. And C, you're also creating a little bit of rapport with them, so they're going to feel comfortable working with you. So you want to get all those questions answered. If you haven't done that already, it's okay. What I would do is I would give them a call back and say, hey, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Buyer or Mrs. Buyer, I was looking at some properties that we, you know, that are in Lisle and the price range you're looking at. I just had a couple other questions for you, and then go over those questions, you know, just to clarify, did you this, that, and the other? And Jesse or Pushkar, will you please send out a buyer questionnaire to Jim and everybody on the call? If
Sure,
Jesse needs to send that to you or whatever, please do that.
Sure.
So you want to get the questions answered about motivation, yada, yada, yada. You want to then get them set up on a search. And one of the important things is if they're selling a house and they're not paying all cash, you want to find out if they already have talked to a lender and got pre-approved. And, you know, people don't always like to give out all this information, but you want to come across as somebody that's trying to help. The reason I asked you that, the reason I asked you if you've been pre-approved or talked to a lender is, you know, we're finding that with everything going on right now in the market, the guidelines have changed significantly for buyers. And I just want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. If you want, I can send you some information on my lender at guaranteed rate. He knows everything there is to know about what's going on in today's environment, and he can get you a pre-approval and see what, you know, if he can help you guys out. Okay. So once you get the information and then you set them up on a search, one of the keys or one of the notes on the search that you want to talk to them about is say, okay, I've set you up on a search. It's going to send you properties, or I'm going to set you up on a search. It's going to send you properties. And initially it'll send you typically quite a few properties. A lot you may not even be interested in, because I'm doing a general search. The reason I do that, I do not want you to miss anything that might be just out of the criteria that you're looking for. So when you get those properties in your email box and you click on the link, it's going to ask you a couple of, you know, questions to set it up, you know, set up your account. When you start looking at the properties, make sure you mark on each one of them, even if you don't like the property at all, mark interested, maybe, or not interested. It's going to give you those 3 boxes to check. Mark at least one of those on each one of the listings. That way it will purge or take out any of the listings that you do not want, and probably will not send you any more that don't fit that, you know, that fit that same criteria. So that way I'm able to tell what you're interested in, and I can search at a higher level for you and find out, you know, find stuff that might be on the private listing network or stuff that we have that's coming up for sale.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I'm going to have to get hipper on. I didn't actually know that you can, you know, say interested or not interested. That would be very helpful. So
set up a search for yourself and send it to you.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Okay. So, you know, I am reading. This guy look familiar? I don't know. So
he's great, man. He's good stuff.
So I'm copying everything other than what you guys have sold me, you know, sent to me. And then, you know, I did put that book together with the scripts. It's very helpful. It just moves the conversation along. So the last thing, and Jesse, we can take this offline if you want, or a push car. I'm almost becoming in love with this KV Core thing, and because people are starting to respond to things I'm sending out. We send out a COVID ID thing, a COVID-19 thing that NAR put together, and I'm just getting these hits now, you know, and I'm capturing them in KV Core. So to wind it up is, can I send my MLS searches through KV via MLS? I'm having a hell of a time trying to do that.
What do you mean?
I can go on Mastermind.
Are you talking about listing alerts?
You know, if I wanted to send, yeah, I found 15 homes for you in, you know, Palo Alto. I want to send these to you, but I want to do it through KV Core.
Yes.
You know? So for some reason, I don't know. I just don't know how to do that. You know?
Okay, we can jump on a call and do that. Definitely, you can do that. That's
okay,
probably
cool.
the best. One of the best things about KV Core is it keeps it all together, lets you know if they open the email,
Yeah, exactly,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's very helpful. So that's what I had. Those are the two, more of a technical question, but the asking deeper questions to a customer, I just got to get hip to that, and I could have used that over the last 2 or 3 days. So I'll take it to heart.
It's a learning process, Jim. It is. And this is why we're doing these calls. There's so, you know, we could do calls for, I was in coaching for 5 or 6 years, and I would learn something new every call.
Yeah, that's
a
cool.
week. So that's just the way it works. But the other thing I wanted to say was, technically you're in the mentoring program and I'm your mentor at EXP. And I believe that they want me to, I know they do. They said that they want me to go on listing appointments with you. If you don't want me to, that's fine. But I'm here for you to go on a listing appointment with you when you set those up. And I would suggest doing that.
Yeah, because I didn't even think of that. Because he did, another thing, he did check out my site, and if you look at my site, it's pretty amateurish. So, but I emphasized, the team. I'm not on your team, but I definitely tell people I am. We have
Here's what we can
X
do.
amount of agents in the office and blah blah
We
blah.
can co-list the property, and I'm not going to get any. It can be the co-listing agent. So you could say, listen, Steve and I are going to co-list this. As you can see, Steve, I work with the Merit Group. We've sold over 400 properties the last 6 or 7 years, whatever. You can use all my stats, and I'll co-list it with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to call him back later this afternoon, and I will see if I can set that up. I understand your schedule, but let's see we can put something together. I have no problem doing that at all. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Jim, you also can use the KV Core or the EXP site as well. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, it's KV Core is like Apple to me. There's always a blog or somebody who's had the problem before, but sometimes I have issues finding exact content.
Okay.
So
Let's schedule a Zoom call.
stumbling over this one, I think, important concept behind KV. So
okay, we'll schedule a Zoom call.
Cool.
One thing about KV Core I do know is you can set up. It's set up so that you can search in KV Core via the MLS. So that's an option in there. If you put them in there as a you put them in KV Core, their information as a what do you call it, a lead or prospect, whatever. And you go to the left-hand side, it'll say over there search criteria. It'll pop up, and you can put the information in there, and it goes directly to your MLS if it's set up correctly. It takes the information off the MLS.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And just one last thing, Jesse. So I did send out my first kind of mass email. I figured out how to do that and put the names in there and everything. And I got 8 hits off it. So 8 hits that I wouldn't have had if I didn't listen. So pretty cool. That's cool. Awesome. Yeah. So still plugging away. I'm really digging it, and I do want to start making money.
Be patient.
And I can't imagine in the next, May or June that people are going to be this willing to talk on the telephone because they'll be back at work. But so now is the time to strike, as far as I'm concerned.
They'll be willing to talk every day of the week.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. That's what I had.
Awesome. If you think of another question as we're going along here, Jim, feel free to jump in.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good stuff, man. Anybody else have any questions right now? This is a question and answer call. So if there's anything, comments, questions, anything. Robert?
I got a couple.
Okay. Actually, Robert, can you hold on? I think Yogi was next in line. Let's let Yogi go.
Perfect.
No, that's fine. I just had an announcement to make.
Okay.
More on that. But if Robert wants to go and ask them question, I might learn something. Let him go ahead.
Okay. All right. So Robert, go ahead.
All right. So a couple different topics here. I got a kickback. I think I told you, Steve, but if not, everybody, for everyone's knowledge, I went through a company. They're called Tech Lee, and essentially they set me up on LinkedIn, and it's a twofold process on LinkedIn. Number one, they send out a message, just kind of a, hey, I'm an EXP real estate person. If you're interested in making the transition to a virtual environment, et cetera, message or contact me. The second message that they've sent out is focusing on managers, CEOs, business leaders who may have moved either to San Antonio, Texas, or they've got a job promotion and they've got a different title change. And there are algorithms in the messages are able to determine whether the member moved or they've gotten a different job change. So I've got both of those out. With that, I'm getting some feedback, some kickback from folks. They're either saying, hey, thanks for reaching out, but not interested at this time, maybe at the end of the year. Or, hey, yeah, this sounds interesting. I got one this morning. Member just simply came back with, are you in residential or commercial? Response, yes. Any and all things at this point in time? Or what would basically be my response to a question that's very generic like that?
So just to recap for anybody that doesn't understand what he's doing, Robert he's got a company. He's got like a 30-day trial with this company. And I told him this would be a good thing to do because it's a free trial. They're sending out messages for him to recruit or attract agents on LinkedIn for EXP. And he's also done a campaign to try to find buyers and sellers through LinkedIn. So it sounds like you have a hit or somebody that asks if you do commercial or residential. My answer would be both. What are you looking at? And, what can I help you with? And
Okay.
if he comes back and starts asking you, it's probably commercial. In that case, if he starts asking you specific questions about a commercial property via email or even on the phone that you can't answer, say, all you have to say is, oh, okay, perfect. I wasn't sure if, just tell him that one of your partners specializes in commercial. I would rather hand you over to an expert than me try to answer a question that I don't know. It's, no big deal. It's,
Okay.
some of the commercial stuff you might be able to answer, but maybe none of it. And that's fine. Just at that point, what you'll do is find a commercial agent in the area that he's looking in with EXP and just sign an agreement with them that you're going to get a 25% referral fee. I mean, who knows? It could be a $50 million commercial property and you end up doing one deal and you're done for the year. You never know. I heard a story like that the other day. So
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to go back with something
Or it
like
could be
that.
nothing.
Yeah. Why not say both, right?
Just say both, because you have the access to, there's 400 or so, I don't know how many commercial agents at EXP, and I guarantee there's some in the San Antonio area that do commercial.
Okay. All right. I got you. Yeah. So it's been it started yesterday. I had a meeting with the tech lead guy. He fine-tuned some of my scripts that he's sending out, and I am actually getting notifications. So I'll continue to keep you informed regarding the prospects here, but a couple of them have said, not right now, but later in the year, or, hey, let's do a quid pro quo. I'm a whatever and you're a real estate guy. In fact, I have a discussion this afternoon at 4:30 with a guy who's a financial guy. And he says a lot of the folks that come to him who are looking to do investments are in search of a real estate agent. He said, hey, if I'd love to sit down and talk with you. And I'm like, hey, I'll talk with you. Why not?
The financial advisors are a very good lead source.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
get in good with him, do a Zoom call with him or whatever, and just, tell him that what you bring to the table is, you're going to be highly involved with the transaction, personally with any client that comes his way. You'll be, your customer service is just, top notch, whatever. You don't have to go into anything that I'm new or I haven't sold anything. Just focus on what you're good at and twist that into your real estate style.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And then, man, I started to go off on the tangent there, and quite frankly, I forgot what the second question was. If it comes to me, I'll
Financial
I'll ping back
advisor
in.
and
What is the name of that program again? I'm sorry.
It is called Tech, so TECH Lee, LEE. And I have the contacts. They're out of Boulder, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
there's two members. The guy that was doing the techie piece, his name is Spencer, and there's another woman who actually contacted me regarding the program. She was a broker in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for many, many years, and she's now gone to the other side, which is going out and trying to recruit and get clients.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I'll give that a look. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah.
Another thing you could say to the guy with the that asked if you're commercial or residential is, tell him both. And then when you get him on the phone, if he starts getting into a lot of commercial stuff, just say, I do have access to, some commercial properties, but it's limited because it's MLS related. And I want to get you in touch with somebody that specializes just in commercial. You can say something like that, because you do have access to commercial properties in the MLS, just a very limited amount.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. I appreciate that. Like I said, I can't think of the other thing now.
That's all right. We're going to be here another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
Hey,
less.
that it's that old age, right?
No, I hear you.
I think better with a beer in my hand, so I don't have that right now.
It's beer o'clock somewhere, I'm sure.
Exactly.
All right. Any other questions that we can help you with? Any comments or anything you guys need help with?
Well, I'll take advantage of some downtime. So within, the book and within, I think, some of the conversations we've had in the past, there's a list of books that you guys have read and recommended. I just can't find that list. So, by the way, I was a C+ student in high school and college, so but I did get my degree. So, but finding books was always challenging for me. do you have that list on your site? Oh, recommended book list. There it is, right there. How did I not see that? Okay, got it. Thank you.
Where's that at, Jesse? Event tools and resource tools.
Tools. I missed it. Okay, problem solved.
I have a question.
Yes. Hi, Helen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing great.
Good. I signed up for Chris Bears and Kristen Bears Success Elevated Workman Success Systems.
Yep,
Are you in the States?
I am.
Okay, that's what I figured. So I'm going through his daily success habits tracker and a 61 points of rhythm. Today's my first day. I'm looking at that. And being in Canada, I know there's differences in terminology and some of our real estate stuff. He's got some prospecting times on there, session 1, session 2. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. But then on his prospecting totals, he's got contacts and appointments set. And under appointment set, he's got listing appointment set. I get that. Lender appointment set. Why would you set lender appointments?
Well, I'll say this. Workman Success is a little bit different system. There's nothing wrong with it. I am just, myself and John and Simone and a lot of us are Mike Ferryites. We are all trained, and Jesse as well. We were trained the Mike Ferry system.
Yeah.
And so my short answer to that would be, I wouldn't count that as a point, first of all. But
yeah, I'm just like, why would I even be doing prospecting to set lender appointments? Or is it, I was just wondering, maybe it was getting a buyer.
Yes. So there is that side of it where if you're going to talk to lenders, the understanding would be that, I would get a couple, 2 or 3 lenders, and they're going to be all over you as a real estate agent. That's who they target for business. And, just simply try to create a relationship where they're going to give you leads and you give them leads for business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that Mike Ferry is a big deal. I'm not really familiar with him. And I know that a lot of our team is, as you say, Mike Ferryites, but Unfortunately, the entire Mike Ferry coaching program was not available for $100.
Oh no, I believe me that, and I know that Verl's coaching program is a lot more expensive than Mike's, and there's a lot of value to it. I was in it actually as well. I just couldn't get away from a lot of my Mike Ferry habits, and
I think that
I didn't
the
work.
most value I'm going to get out of any kind of system or coaching is the tools and the whole point of tracking and recording and being consistent, like setting up prospecting times and making those calls. And so I'm not the kind of person that I'm like, oh, I'm going to follow this, step by step by step, when it's not applicable to us in Canada. And
Yeah, but yeah, and that's you're on the right state of mind there as far as what you're thinking. That's exactly why you would have a coach, is to be able to have the blueprint of what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it, and keep yourself accountable to that, tracking everything and doing the right activities. And that's what it's going to come down to on a consistent basis. That's what it's all about. You could follow just about any coaching program, as long as you're not following one where you have to pay for a bunch of advertising, and you're going to be successful as long as you're consistent with it.
Yeah.
And you're following what they're saying to do for lead generation and prospecting.
So the good news is I had a new listing go active on MLS on Monday.
Nice.
Woo.
And I'm doing a final in-person viewing after a video viewing tomorrow for my buyers.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yay.
Good stuff.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, Yogi.
I'm sorry, I have to rush into another meeting, I believe.
Okay.
Well, it's a question. I just wanted to let you know a little bit something. First of all, as everybody would know, I'm mainly in commercial sites, so I generally don't do residential a whole bunch. So I passed about 4 or 5 leads to other people in EXP from various parts. However, I was in one of the investor meetings a little while back on Zoom call. What exactly, I mean, nothing to be scared about. These are the guys who are on the national level, and they kind of deal a whole bunch of things. So what we are anticipating right now is that after March 20th, the prices of the real estate are going to come down a little bit. I mean, this is an anticipation coming down from various circles, and the market is going to flip. That is that it was up till now a seller's market. It's going to be becoming a buyer's market very soon, because we do not anticipate that this is going to go away before June, July. So essentially, if you're having the sellers who are motivated sellers, they are ready to put offers essentially and try to buy the properties right now. If the sellers are motivated and they want to cash out on anything, so they are ready to buy properties anywhere in the country. So just contact me if you have any of those properties which you have been, or they are getting close to expiring or anything like that. As far as the money is concerned, they are holding one of the largest funds in US. So money is not a big issue for them. They want to take mileage of the house.
Are they looking at 2 flats?
They're looking at any kind of a property, any kind of a property. There are 2 different groups. One group is in the residential side, and they are even ready to fund if in case you have somebody who wants funding for construction and anything. The second group is in the apartment side, and essentially they are ready to buy any apartments valued up to $100 million. A lot of reasons why I'm saying I'm mainly in the commercial side, so all these things are pertaining to commercial. One thing, when it goes down to the apartments, why exactly we're anticipating a whole bunch of price drop down in that? Because a lot of tenants have agreed not to pay the rent. So when the rent is not paid, a lot of people have mortgage on those houses. So they are going to slip out, and they would like to come out of it at a very good price.
Yeah, there's going to be, and sorry to interrupt you, Yogi, but there's definitely, this echoes exactly what we're seeing right now. There's going to be a lot of panic and a lot of fear and a lot of adjustments made. And there's going to be sellers out there, commercial, residential, whatever, that are dumping their properties. So there is potentially good deals out there. you know, we don't know how long it's going to last or how far out it's going to go or affect pricing. However, the last 3 of the last 5 recessions, as we saw in some of the statistics, home prices went up. So this could be and it sounds like you agree, this will be maybe a 2 to 3 month scenario. And, you know, prices may adjust, they may not, but we probably will be okay. I don't know about anybody else, but, you know, the government's starting to give away free money to businesses and to individuals, and that has a tendency to, you know, keep the economy rolling pretty good.
You know, that's a very good way of putting it, Steve. And I am just trying to admit that if in case, essentially, I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of discussions about the money being paid by government. I mean, of course, it's a very good preemptive effort. However, if we are getting anywhere in EXP where exactly we're getting into a place where sellers are becoming panicky or something like that. So just wanted to let you know that
Motivation. That's all we need to look for.
So I have the buyers who are ready to buy. That's what I'm just trying to tell you.
Okay, I'm going to give you a call after the later today, Yogi. I got a couple properties that might be of interest.
Great, thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, he's out. Anybody else?
All right, it came back to me. I better tell it
All right,
before it goes away.
Rock
All right, following up on last week's discussion with the military members, right? I sent out the email to everybody. I followed up this week and sent out a mass text to everyone. I got back 3 responses out of 12. One was my number was blocked, strangely enough. I don't know, that's weird, but the other 2 just said, they were very personable and they said, thanks, but no longer considering at this time. I still have the remainder as open. In other words, they haven't replied to the email or they haven't replied to a text. When do you become a stalker?
how many times have you already contacted them, in what time frame?
So it was an email initially. This is all dating back to about a month ago. So at or around the 15th of last month, up until the 13th of this month, for the total of the 12 members. One of them, like I said, is just a no-go, which I've kind of taken that off. So it's literally down to 11 people, and 2 of those 11 replied back to the texts. So that would leave 9 open emails and 9 open texts without a response.
And tell me again exactly who these people are.
These are military members that are going out to that AHRN MLS, the military website that's global, worldwide, that are looking to PCS to San Antonio, or potentially PCS to San Antonio. Now, we still have the hard block on movement for military troops for, I believe, another month. So they might just be bored in their apartments or homes where they're at and just kind of going out and looking at potential. But once again, 2 of them at least replied saying no longer interested at this time, but the remaining 9 are still open-ended on an email and open on a text message that I sent them.
All right, what I would do is the people that are no longer interested at this time, I would wait at least 30 days before I connected with them. And what I would say is, hey, I just wanted to check in and see if your plans have changed at all, or if you're still staying put.
Okay.
The other ones, I would strategically just text message them around the 28th of April, because I think things will start opening up in May. And, you know, that's another 2 weeks away almost. And who knows, maybe they're waiting until, you know, either get the word that things are opening up, or they're just mentally waiting until May 15th. In 2 weeks, you know, you miss every shot you don't take. If they haven't responded yet, what's the worst that can happen? They can block you.
Yeah, and to be honest, any type of mass messaging, whether it's email, text, whatever, if you get 10 to 20% response, that's actually really good. Because frankly, just 90% of people are not going to respond. They might open it, but so don't be discouraged, I guess is my message. It's
oh yeah, that's common.
perfectly normal.
Okay, cool.
Perfectly normal. And that's where consistency and being the one that always follows up every month is the person that's going to get the business.
Okay. All right. I'll give them a couple more weeks.
They'll be ready at some point if they're really motivated to do something.
Yeah, or orders might have changed. That's happened before too. The member thinks they're going one place and they get last minute orders that have completely changed them to another. I had a major who just recently PCS that happened to, so I understand.
Another option, you could ask them if they, I don't want to bother you, but I was just curious. Do you know of anyone else that might be thinking about making a move? And one thing that may happen in their mind is, well, I need to give this guy a lead or he's not going to freaking leave me alone, to get you off their back. That's a possibility too, if you don't have a problem with it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thanks.
All right, Jim, I think you're itching to ask another question. You just don't want to ask it. I know. Go ahead. He muted himself.
Hey, I want to throw this out there. How many of you guys, if we do the next training call for the tech training call, if we talk about doing virtual showings and running your business virtually, is that of interest to anybody? If we talked about how to do video tours on your phone or anything like that, would that be helpful to anybody if we did that?
That would be great.
It would be too late for me. I got to do a virtual, sit in the house, open house this weekend.
Okay, so
Do it Friday.
we could do it Friday. I mean, that would be helpful.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful.
It would be helpful to me too, Jesse, and I'd like to. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but I would love to know how to do that. If I approach somebody right now and say, hey, I've got, my company or, my whole process is virtual now. And kind of what are the steps to approach somebody for a listing standpoint of presenting them with, here's the virtual way that I'm doing business while things are on lockdown.
Okay.
Just kind of a process there from the buy and the sell side. Like a real, real simple and to the point, step by step.
So how to show clients that you are capable of helping them in a virtual environment.
Even like a virtual listing presentation or something like that.
Okay. Cool.
I'm jealous of all these people, all these agents out there on social media saying that they're doing this, that, and the other, which I doubt they, some of them are, some aren't, but I mean, come on, we've been doing virtual tours on listings forever. So it's not anything new.
Well, we have, so our MLS.
It's all how you package it, right?
They've changed the system. They shut down physical open houses showing on the MLS on realtor.ca. They've opened it up for virtual open houses. But there are some agents, and I've seen an EXP agent close by to me in a nearby town. I don't know him, but he literally did a Zoom invite to a posted virtual open house. He was there for 2 hours and they had to register and sign up, and he asked questions on the Zoom invite. Are you working with a realtor? All of the usual open house questions. And then there was something about they would sit in the waiting room if he was busy with other clients online, touring them around the house. And then as soon as he was done with one set virtually, he could bring in another couple online so that, it was
all through
like
Zoom?
a one-on-one tour.
It was all through Zoom?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the
Yeah,
paid subscription to Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, you can put people in a waiting room. Another thing too, you guys, if you got some downtime and you have 30 minutes to want to browse something, go to exp360tour.com and just start kind of getting your brain around this, and we can talk about it more Friday.
Yeah.
exp360 tour. This is provided through EXP. Okay. So
rock and roll. That's legit, bro.
So we'll talk. I wrote down 3 things. Anything else as far as running your business virtually, anybody wants to know about that I can prep for? And
No, I think that I've done live videos going through a house. I just really want to find out how it can, come across as more professional, more planned, more organized, the virtual showings.
I have a way of doing that. There's a lady doing that in Florida right now she's crushing it. And I'll demo that on Friday as well.
Awesome.
All right, guys, if there's no other questions, if there is, shout it out right now, but we're going to shut down and see you guys on Friday. There's also a thing on Workplace, by the way, tomorrow through Workplace. I think I'll have Pushkar. Could you send that out to the group for tomorrow? I'm doing a presentation for Illinois agents. I'm just going to talk about market conditions and what I'm doing, what we should be, doing right now in this market. And it's just going to be kind of a coaching call thing.
I'll send it to everyone.
Okay. All right. We'll see you guys Friday. Thanks a million. If anybody has any questions later on, just let me know.
Thanks so
All right.
much. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys for attending.
Cheers.